resources for you today, as we do every day. Of course, you know it's Throwback Thursday, so you're going to hear a whole bunch of throwbacks today. But guess what? Even in the spirit of throwing back, we moving forward. Today, guess what?
What?
Everybody say what?
What?
Yeah, come on now.
Today, early voting started. So for all of you all who have already made up your mind, you can go downtown in Chicago. Now, I'm not sure where it is in your city if you're not in Chicago, but downtown in Chicago, you can go and start voting early.
Where?
I don't know. I'm going to post it. I know, right?
I'm trying to give the people the info.
Well, let me tell you why I say that, because there's several downtown polling places.
Yes.
So you can look, you can put your zip code in there,
Okay.
and they will tell you exactly where the polling place is, but they're typically downtown. Now, of course, you can do your mail-in votes as well, but all of that has started already. You can also go to LaShawn K. Ford, Representative LaShawn K. Ford. You can go to his website, and it has a list of all of the people, of all of the places, the polling places that you can go to. So I definitely want to give a shout out to the polling people, the people that actually man the polls. It's an arduous job.
I've done it.
You've done it?
I did it in the Trump in Biden one. The Trump and Biden one I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what was your experience?
It was. This is inspiration. So inspiration 1390. So I can say it was hell. That was terrible. I had to think about it, but hey.
Yeah, well, you know what? It is, because first of all, they have to be there at 6. I'm not saying they have to get there
before even 6. Like, I was there at 5:30 a.m.
And people come into the polling place, like the barber shop, like the beauty shop, dump all their problems on the polling officials, and they're like, "Look, I just came to give you a ballot, bro."
And I just came to get my check.
So I definitely want to give a shout. Speaking of shouts out, listen, yesterday was Annie Mae Hanley's birthday. That's Inglewood Tanya's mother, and you know she is beloved. Happy birthday. She's also a very loyal listener on Inspiration 1390. Not just on the Brunch Bunch, but she says she keeps it locked all day long. I want you guys to do the same, and I want you to wish her, wherever you are, a happy belated birthday. Y'all, in the spirit of keeping it locked, do just that, because don't go nowhere. We got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390.
Yeah, once I did that, I said I'm never doing that again.
You said you're never doing it again? You look so pretty, India.
Thank you so much, lovely. You look so pretty, always inspiring me.
Woo, honey, today is get my hair done.
Talk about getting my hair done today.
Yes, it is, honey.
Well, the Prada hat doing you right.
Okay, it's doing me right.
Yeah, the Prada hat doing you right. The Prada bucket coming through, for sure. It's bringing a look.
Everywhere you go. Well, you just don't know. It has us in a dilemma.
If you in a dilemma, did you post that grant?
I can't speak.
Isn't that what that is?
Hit me in the DM.
Oh yeah, there you go. Justin, drive some that,
I got you. And tell me what it is you're trying to do. Let me know. Are you trying to apply for a trademark? Have you already applied for a trademark? Have you conducted a search? Give me a little bit of information.
He's not coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
she found her.
I love Atlanta. I ain't been to the A in a minute. I was just
She's doing her
thing. To come get it.
No, I'm saying before her thing.
Go.
So we'll do your story.
Yeah, but
I'll probably be signed then. I don't even need to do a story.
What's your story?
Well, there's 2.
I probably don't even need to do a story.
I would say do this one.
And they like the trademarks. That's what I'm talking about.
That's like the big one.
And you just never know who you're going to meet or like what your relationship is going to like develop into or whatever. And I love that. We had that interaction, and now I could potentially be your lawyer.
10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Shantae, you got a birthday coming up. We're going to celebrate it from right here. What's up, Cancer, June 24? Staying in your lane. What's happening? Oh, yeah, let me read it. You want to do that one? Let me read it first. Oh, yeah.
more pertinent to everyone. But I'm just saying because I think we can only do one story because we only got 10 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'll do that.
Where I came from. And I just want you to kind of listen in. And if you can answer me back, well and good.
Since you keep insisting on it.
I'm just, in my opinion, I think people need to know about it.
Talk about people need to know. This is what the people need to know about. He
Betty,
said,
and people want to hear about it, Betty.
Listen, this is what the people need to know about it. That's what he said. Listen, I ain't mad at him.
I'm right or not?
Listen, you say, am I right or am I right?
I got it. Thank you. What you laughing at?
I'm not insisting on anything, I promise.
Why you get red? You're the same color as Justice's shirt right now.
Because I'm white.
They do that.
That's what the Polish.
I'm out of
That's
here.
what the Polish and Irish do.
Somebody, please.
That's exactly. Justice hit it right on the head. That's what we
You,
do. That's what
you
we
didn't wave. Look, don't halfway. Wave to everybody.
I'm a chameleon.
That Marcel said in the group chat looked like at the end you went right over and cussed him out.
I know, right? But I didn't. I got it together. He was super nice today too.
It's Thursday.
Super duper nice. I just mean mugged him, but he couldn't see me through the glasses, and I'm so glad that I did. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes your aura will bring. Literally, the laws of attraction are real, and I'm just talking about attracting people. I'm talking about attracting vibes. Like literally, yesterday my vibe was clean off. Right? Today I got it together. Even though today was been a very challenging Thursday, but you know what? When the vibe is right, no matter what hits you, you just. There you go. That's right. You got to put the full armor of God on, and I'm not talking about just bracelets. I'm talking about the breastplate, everything that you got in your arsenal.
30 seconds.
10 minutes.
I said 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Fade that.
Okay.
The full armor, y'all, literally.
I've met Deborah Vines before.
Yeah, she's somebody to know.
Man,
but I want to know who did your lashes, because they somebody to know too.
These strips.
Girl, they stripping. Your strips are stripping.
They strips today. We had to, I couldn't make it to the last.
Yeah,
I
baby.
had time for 2.5 hour appointment.
You ready, Tammy? Yeah, I'm ready.
Or okay with that, I don't care.
On the brunch bunch.
I don't want to put y'all in a panic, but I definitely want to announce this just in case the only place you get your news is right here. So according to young Adam, we are on the precipice of WW Smackdown World War III. Because a missile attack on Israel lays bare deep divisions among Iranians. So Iranians have been expressing a mixture of pride, uncertainty, and fear since their country launched a large-scale ballistic missile attack on Israel on Tuesday night. That was 48 hours ago. And within minutes, the attack starting. Persian social media feeds were filled with shaky videos showing the flashes of the missiles flying overhead. I even saw a car that was completely bombed, a BMW or some high-end car that was completely bombed. Iran's state television broadcast pictures of groups of people cheering on the streets, waving flags and chanting death to Israel. But the mood was different online, with not everyone expressing support for the attack. And some shared the tense scenes and heated debates about possible war between the arch foes after decades of keeping their conflict largely in the shadows. Well, now they're not in the shadows. They're right up front. They're right 3D, 4D, maybe even 10D. The contrasting reactions laid bare the deep divisions of Iran, where there's widespread discontent at the clerical establishment and frustration over the economic troubles caused by the sanctions. Well, you know what? When you start messing with people's livelihood, and sanctions do mess with people's livelihoods, as we are on the brink of seeing it with our own longshoremen who have been going on strike, literally people start to pay attention. So on one side of the debate, there are those who support the government's actions with nationalist pride, while on the other side, those who fear war, economic collapse, and further suppression of domestic reform movements. Now, a lot of times when you're not in the land where that war is being fought, you don't see how it's going to be interconnected to you. Understand this, that we are all interconnected.
Absolutely.
This war is definitely going to affect.
With Israel, we're
Yes.
definitely connected.
Iran Revolutionary Guard said Tuesday that the missile strike successfully targeted Israeli military and intelligence bases, and that it was retaliation for recent killings of their leaders and its allies, Hamas and Hezbollah. Did I pronounce that right?
Hamas.
Hamas. Oh, hummus is what I was saying.
That sounds good
Wanna
right now,
eat
though.
it?
He said
That
hummus
sounds
is what
good
I was
right
saying.
When I said it, I'm like, that couldn't be right because it sounded and it felt too good.
Hamas and Hezbollah.
Yes. So the Israeli, thank you so much, Adam. So the Israeli military described the attack as an indiscriminate event and said that while it had been largely thwarted by air defenses, that there had been casualties and millions of Israelis have been sent running to bomb shelters. We are praying seriously. And if you have not started, or if this is the first time that you are hearing about how really critical this situation is, please keep them, all of them, on the forefront of your prayer list. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I said that right. Netanyahu has warned that Iran will pay for this big mistake.
And that's what scares me.
Because he ain't no punk.
No, he ain't no punk.
No. So bravo to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. It seems like y'all know how to pronounce all of these people's names. And bravo to the Revolutionary Guard. Now, that's not from the Brunch Bunch. That is from the writer of this article. Everybody is frustrated. Everybody is on high alert. It is definitely going to affect this election. And people are going to be looking for leadership or proposed leadership, but from Trump and from Kamala, to see exactly what side of the aisle they stand on. And not just who you're supporting, but what are you going to do to end it? Because everybody wants to see this ended.
But then I also read Israel's leader also said, like, they're going to retaliate. And then Iran also said, if you do retaliate, it's going to be bigger problems. So that's what is really scaring me about this whole story, is the retaliation in both. And then if they retaliate and Iran,
well, they're going to, because the allies have to stand with that in which they are alliance
exactly,
to.
and we're in alliance with Israel, so that's what scares me.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your fear is not unfounded, because when you think about how globally impactful this can be,
exactly,
and is going to be, unless we get some real peace talks, and I mean, they got to keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, because now you cannot bring back the bomb.
And the thing that really stood out to me was when I was watching on the TV here in the studio, they were bombing Tel Aviv, and it kind of reminded me of like a New York or like a LA, like seeing the bomb, like that's what really clicked for me. Like that could happen in our New York, that could happen in our California, LA, wherever, in those big cities. I don't know.
So from your perspective, what do you think would be a solution? How do you think that this could actually come to a head without even further violence, further bombing, further deaths?
Yeah, obviously, I think the simple answer would be a ceasefire. Obviously, that would be awesome. But
is that altruistic thinking?
I don't know that word.
Is it unrealistic thinking?
That's why I think it's unreal. I do think it's unrealistic at this point. If bombs are getting thrown to other countries, I think it's unrealistic. But
because if I hit you, you gotta hit me back.
I got to.
You do.
You don't have to.
That's my mindset. If you come at me, I gotta finish that.
You
fight.
don't have to. You don't have to come
in
back.
your opinion, then, what do you think would be the best response?
I think that the best response would be one that doesn't include large-scale military action in any way, right?
Okay.
They already fighting with the Palestinians, right? Yeah. They already got something going on, a war that they've started on their own, right? And then now you've come under a slight attack. Is it enough of an attack for you to feel like...
Would you call this a slight attack, though?
I mean, a singular bombing in comparison to what they've been doing to the Palestinians. I would call it pretty slight, to be honest, in comparison to what's been going on, I would say this is a slight attack. This isn't like multiple bombings happening at one time, you know, or a day back to back. Every day we dropping bombs. We drop bombs once in an isolated location.
Absolutely.
So it could be on the scale of war. It can get much uglier, right? It can get much uglier than this.
Well, as believers, a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, okay, we're living in our last time. We're living in our last days." But read your Bibles, read them very discriminately, because it is reported in the Bible that when you see famine, earthquakes, war, threats of war, it sounds like the last days, but the last days are not yet. There's clear signs. The Bible outlines those signs. Read your Bibles with a different eye, with a different lens, because these are not the last days. This is going to continue to go on for a while. So I think that you guys are right. We just got to keep it on the beginning of our prayer list, on the end of our prayer list, in the middle of our prayer list. If you're praying incessantly, then like you're supposed to, as the Bible charges, then I want you to definitely keep Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, because we have wars all over the place, right? And keep yourselves prayed up, because fear really does impact people. We talk about mental health. When things go on, and because we're so interconnected because of this social media, it really does heighten our trauma.
Absolutely.
And you got to be very watchful about your own trauma. But Lord, if anybody can move a mountain, it is you. Absolutely. And we ask you, please move the mountains. It's Inspiration 1390.
Where are you?
Okay. How long is that song?
It's 2 minutes.
Let's play 1 minute, because then we will only be 2 minutes behind.
Yes. Right on to India.
Right.
You got India's intro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Come on, India's intro.
I asked my daughter, "Are you throwing up gang signs?"
No, ma'am. Now, but you do got some gang members up in here.
I'm done. I'm out. I told y'all.
Right at you.
Pointing at nobody.
Right at you. I ain't pointing no elbows.
Don't be pointing nowhere.
Listen, I ain't pointing no elbows, but it's some members.
But you know what? A lot of times. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut off you all's gang.
Yeah, it's him.
But a lot of times when these wars are going on in other countries, people here in America are like, we got our own civil war going on.
Yeah.
You know, we do.
But
We're
look at
infighting.
But look at World War II, how that started. That didn't start in America, obviously. It started with little wars across the whole rest of the country. And then America had to get involved eventually.
But this whole ethnic cleansing seems to be the common denominator of what starts wars, when you got dictators like Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, we're going to make this a pure whatever it is.
Russian dude, I forgot his Putin.
You forgot his name? I
forgot his name until I just remembered it.
I forgot my man's name.
Putin be Putin. But I don't think Putin is doing any type of ethnic cleansing. He's on a land grab.
Attorney India Rios, your one-stop shop for trademark
But anytime
services. Whether you're launching a new business or safeguarding an established one, I will guide you through every step of the trademark process.
He says purely
Secure
about
your brand's future today. Call 773-455-0711. That's 773-455-0711.
She always has
exclusive topic.
Always
exclusive topic. I was saying, did you do one?
I mean, it's always exclusive.
It's always exclusive.
Attention motorists, get your new Buddy Bear Buddy Passport.
Oh, that was just your commercial.
Oh, I got a commercial?
Oh, yeah, you been had a commercial.
Year, no matter what.
I'm working in
15 locations.
Did you hear me? Oh, I have a commercial.
Yeah, I wanted her to
thought that was
come right
the
on
intro.
in. I thought it was too.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Don't play anymore. Just let's go to her, okay?
Intro.
Okay, no more commercials.
Yeah,
No,
just to her intro.
because I thought that was the prelude for her.
That's BuddyBearCarWash.com and get your membership today. You can ride out with a clean ride
You think
tomorrow.
10,000 cars pulled up the Buddy Bear?
I do.
It's time for Trademark Talk with attorney India
Oh, there we
Rios
go.
right here on the Brunch.
That's my intro.
Trademark talk, y'all. You know what? A lot of times people think, well, I opened up my business, I put my shingle up, I called a few people, I put my website up, I got social media presence, and I'm good to go. Then your business takes off. And guess what? So do the haters come. And that's when you want to call attorney India Rios, because haters gonna hate, but you got to be prepared, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, India.
Woo, thank you so much for having me. I'm always so happy to be here with you guys.
And you always look so beautiful every time you come.
Thank you so much, Timmy. I really do
you are welcome.
Because it is not easy. It is a hard push every day.
You're so funny.
No, so I got some trademark tea.
Okay, let's pour it.
Let's start out with some trademark tea, right? Have you guys heard that Mattel, the makers of Barbie, right, is suing a small Black-owned business out of Georgia, Amanda's Barbecue?
No.
Wow.
They are suing Barbie.
Because she spelled it Barbie?
No, she didn't. And you would think she would have spelled it that way, right? For them to be so adamant. So the basis of their lawsuit is two things. One, the likelihood of confusion. They're claiming that people are going to mistake barbecue. So the way she's spelling it is BARBEEQUE, right? So it's a little bit of a play on barbecue for sure, but nothing about that is given Barbie to me.
So are all the barbecue houses getting sued? Because
that's the question that I would be raising. I'm actually thinking about reaching out to her. I want y'all to tell me. Y'all think I should reach out to her?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking about reaching out to her because she seems unrepresented. I didn't went through all of the filings. She appears to be unrepresented, and I don't want her to lose on the technicality. And that's where she's at right now. She's in a space where she could lose on the technicality. She could lose just because she doesn't know how to answer properly, right? So they filed what's known as a notice of opposition against her trademark application. And she is trying to respond to this. But there's actually a formula for answers, right? And answers follow a specific way, right? You gotta in order. You have to answer every allegation that's made, right? When you file an answer, you're responding to each paragraph, right? Yep. Either objecting, denying,
she probably
partially objecting, whatever. And she's been writing them some really articulate, because she's obviously no dummy, right? Yep. So she's been writing them like messages like, there's no likelihood of confusion because of this, and this. There's no chance of dilution, because they also are charging her with dilution. That's one of the claims that they've made, is that she's diluting. And dilution is different from infringement in the sense, or likelihood of confusion, because with dilution, what you're saying is not that people are going to see your brand and think that it's mine. People are just going to see your brand, and your brand existing at the same time as my brand is gonna weaken the strength of my mark, right?
So let me ask you this, India. So if I see a Barbie doll, am I supposed to eat it, pick it up and eat it like a barbecue stick or something? I mean, like literally, because I don't see the confusion.
I don't see the confusion either. They claim she uses the color pink. Pink is a popular color.
Pink is not your color. And
you don't own it, but I just want to bring this up here. And I'll show you guys here in the studio. This is where her branding is looking like.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And she got this pig here doing a little sweep. I don't take this font to be indicative of Mattel at all. This isn't giving traditional Barbie font. Is it the real Mattel?
Because I can't even imagine Mattel.
Oh, then it's them. It's them in all 45 pages of that complaint. It's 45 pages. And about 35 of the 45 pages, all they talk about is how strong their mark is. Like, we've sold millions of dollars. Barbie is known across the world. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't think about barbecue when I think of you.
But besides the logo, is there any possible Barbie branding that they're doing on their menu? Like,
it's not looking like she has any Barbie branding whatsoever. She looked like she's successful. She got her sauce in a bottle, so she's selling sauce.
And did she have that same pig in a dress on the bottle?
Same pig in a dress on the bottle.
So Tina Hammond on Facebook says that Mattel needs to sit down. SAT.
And I agree with that. I agree with that, and you can tell that she one of us for real, y'all. Because YSA on her about us page, hey my smoking partners,
Yeah.
it's so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so cute. Her brand. I feel bad for her that she's going through this. I mean,
but not really, because let me tell you something. This is going to make her brand awareness
Oh, yeah.
so much more exponentially out there that people are going to just go there just to see what Mattel is talking about.
And I hope that she is getting that type of support. And I'm interested in why she doesn't have counsel. I seen an order where Mattel asked that an interlocutory attorney be appointed to her because she's self-represented, and they recognize that, you know, when you don't have counsel, it can delay things significantly.
Yep.
Right? Because here it is, you think that you're providing an answer, but every answer that you provide, they do a motion to strike from the record, because the answer is not, it doesn't conform with the rules, the federal rules of evidence. It doesn't conform with the federal rules of civil procedure. So because her response doesn't conform with the rules, they're just trying to strike it, you know, and she has until the 9th. So like I said, I was thinking about it. I'm not a solicitor of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not one to solicit any business, but I would be willing to just help her form this answer and like give her a template. Like, hey, this is what they're looking for. You know, like maybe you can't afford me, and that's unfortunate. Because I really want you to be able to afford somebody, because
What's her name?
Her name is Amanda. Amanda Kelsey is her name. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't know how Georgia, you know, say Atlanta, Georgia, but you know,
it might be on the outskirts,
like Conyers or something, Marietta. That's why I really don't mess with Atlanta like that.
But you know, Atlanta's not. Georgia's not in my union anymore. I got 49 states.
Listen, and even though I used to once upon a time love going to Atlanta in my youth, I did when I was like 18 to 25. Like I couldn't get enough of Atlanta back then for some reason. But now, since I've matured, everything is just so far away. I'm not a big Atlanta person, but she's based out of Atlanta. She's got her sauce in a bottle. Her establishment looks really cute. She has a truck, like a little food truck. Nothing, when I say nothing about her branding though says Barbie to me. Nothing about her branding is giving Barbie.
But did you read what Mattel's side of it is?
Oh, dilution and likelihood of confusion. But most of their claim, like, is just about how famous they are, and they're pushing, and I understand their position as counsel, right? They're pushing that we have a world famous mark. And the reason that we're pushing that we have this world famous mark is because they're trying to say that even though they're not identical, our mark is so famous that people could make this association.
So could the argument be presented that Victoria's Secret, who uses the word pink and uses a lot of pink as well, be infringing and diluting their brand, or having notice of opposition because the likelihood of confusion?
That could absolutely be one of the claims. One of the bigger claims that I would be making if I was countering and I was her writing these answers, right, is if barbecue is so close to Barbie that I'm causing confusion and I'm diluting your brand, then your brand should in fact be generic, because there are so many barbecues that exist that you have allowed to go on unpoliced. That's probably like one of my first arguments, right? There's so many barbecues that exist that already have registration for this, that, or the third. Then your brand should be generic or diluted to the point that it's not a brand. If this is your claim specifically to me, one barbecue, you got to make this claim to all the barbecues.
Well, Basketball Mom 0920 says that Amanda will be able to afford you because Atlanta shows up and shows out when they want to get something done. Now, if Atlanta is embracing Amanda's barbecue, Atlanta is going to embrace Amanda.
Amen.
But you know what? This sounds like a David and Goliath. And you didn't have to even enter into this fight, Mattel.
Yeah, you started this, but this is something that's happening. And that one of my things is that out of all of the registrations that Barbie has, they don't have one for barbecuing. They don't have one for smoked meats or any of the rest of that, right? And now they've even taken it a step further to apply for, they filed an application and they have in there that is forthcoming, right? We have this forthcoming registration for this. But when I think about Barbie, I don't think about ribs.
But
And I
let me
never
ask you
have.
this.
Or I never will.
Does Amanda have any protections, copyright, trademarking?
So Amanda filed this trademark application, and that's one of the best things that she ever really could have did for herself was filing this application. And the reason that I say that it was a good thing is that had they sued her in federal court, she'd have been on a much steeper uphill climb, right? She actually can, with a little bit of help, get some limited scope representation in here, cut her legal costs by having somebody pop in, pop out of these proceedings as needed, and work with the USPTO, because that's who they're looking to. They're going through an administrative process right now. So they're looking to the United States Patent and Trademark Office to make a decision about confusion, right? And one of the things that she has working in her favor is that they had already moved her to publication. So because she had already been moved to publication, that means that the USPTO already didn't see an issue. They didn't see an issue before they let her go to publication. Yes.
So let's say hypothetically Barbie comes out with a line like summer cookout line where Barbie is,
which Barbie are you talking about? The Barbie?
I'm saying
about Barbie.
Barbie Mattel.
Because she's not Barbie, she's barbecue.
Yeah, what if they come out with like a set where it comes with a grill and like a Barbie is barbecuing, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that still would be a child's toy. That still would be in a different class than the food service and restaurant classes that barbecue exists in, right? They would have to open a restaurant.
Okay.
They would have to open a restaurant and sell barbecued items using their branding and their logo.
Yep.
Also, I would like to point out that this really seems far-fetched and beyond their potential zone of expansion, right? If you're a maker of dolls, okay, we might see you dropping coloring books, cartoons, story times, things of that nature, right? All of these peripheral things that support you as a maker of dolls. But we wouldn't necessarily see you way out here in this class as a maker of meats.
Hey, Tamara,
smoked food.
Is Purple Turtle gonna come out with some smoked meats anytime soon?
Heck no! We might smoke some turtles.
Some Slim Jims or something like what?
No, but you know what? I'm so glad that you have educated us throughout the time that you've been here on what generic is, because when we think of generic, we think of generic medicines, and of course they're cheaper, but they're related because they typically do the same thing, right? Well, like you've educated us on what a generic trademark would be, and you've also indicated that Mattel should be generic if they're trying to go against all barbecues.
Exactly. And then there's something to be said about you haven't policed your mark this far, right? Because you let all of these other barbecues come to registration, right? Regardless, and if your argument is that it sounds the same even though it's spelled different, right?
Yeah.
There's issues with that too. There's issues with the fact that
no
barbecue sounds the same all the time. There's no Q on Barbie, right? And then there's also the anti-dissection doctrine that's at play in trademark law, saying that you can't break my mark apart. You can't say Barbie and Barbie, so it's too close, right? You got to take Amanda's barbecue, like her full mark, her full application is for more than just barbecue.
But so something that actually does say Barbie, like Australians on the Barbie, why haven't you policed that too?
That's a great point.
Another point towards you haven't been policing your mark, so maybe your mark isn't as strong as it's supposed to be.
Well, so let me ask you this. Is there a precedent for the U.S. Trademark Division for this kind of situation? Because I've never heard of even a huge company like this.
So I'm sure that the TTAB has a ton of cases that have been resolved one way or another, where things are spelled differently, but they sound the same, right?
Can you give some examples?
I could think of things that are spelled differently or they sound the same, or things that are spelled the same but sound differently or pronounced in different ways. I'm sure that they have a ton of them. I don't have any off the top of my head right now, but what I would think still it comes back to is it goes beyond just the sound and the perception. It goes deeper. It goes into your channels of commerce. Where do you sell your products at in comparison to where I sell my products? It goes to your consumers. Who are your consumers? children
Yep.
for the most part,
Yep.
right? My consumers are not our families, are hungry people, are all, you know what I mean, are mostly
children
Southern blacks who like, you know, our barbecue or
Mhm.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Southern
Like
anybody. They could be
the
black,
channels
white, or purple,
of
plaid.
commerce are different here. Where my products would be sold in comparison to where your products would be sold, those are also different. So when you take all of that into consideration, I don't necessarily anticipate this being a slam dunk for Barbie, but I do feel like she needs to rise to the occasion and really
capture the moment,
hone her answers in.
She need India in her life.
That's right.
I want to help her. I do. I really do want to help her.
Well, let me say this to you guys. If you have a connection, if you're in Atlanta and you have a connection to Amanda Kelsey, definitely let her know that she has an advocate right here in Chicago, a very capable advocate, I should say, and that's attorney India Rios. So the other thing that I wanted to ask you, I think I did ask you about, was there other precedents? But in the meantime, in between time, like literally, come on, Mattel.
Come on, Mattel. Come on. That's what I would say is come on, Mattel. I think that this is a far stretch. I think that this is almost like an abuse of your trademark rights too, right? For you to go after this company when the confusion really is lacking, you know what I mean? And to make these claims, I think that in a sense, sometimes with these larger famous marks, because that's like a term of art, these larger world famous marks, they get to reaching beyond the classes that they're in, reaching beyond their potential zones of expansion. And then they go into a space to where when you think about trademarks, it's supposed to be a protection for brand owners and consumers. It's almost like you're using your mark to bully and to shut down this business.
So have you been to Mickey's in Oak Park, Illinois?
I have not been to Mickey's.
Nobody. But there's a Mickey's in Oak Park.
So Disney coming after them?
No, I'm saying no. There's a McDonald's right next to them.
Oh,
and there's Mickey D. Like people call it. Like how did like do big brands usually do this? This seems like I've never heard of a big brand coming up like for like a mom and pop shop.
Oh, they do it. Oh, they do it.
Oh, they do it.
Oh, they do it. Oh, they do. Oh, they do it all the time.
Really?
Oh, they do it. Oh, they do it. Listen. No, absolutely. They absolutely do. And, you know, and they'll do it under the guise of we have to protect our mark or we'll lose it. Right?
Mattel is one of the biggest brands, one of the oldest brands in American history. Barbie is one of the most noted, recognizable brands in America and around the world. Come on, let Amanda have her space.
Let Amanda have her space. Let her have it.
Amen.
Speaking of space, we'll be right back talking about this space. But this is some food for thought. This is very interesting. It's food for thought. When you are doing your business, you want to make sure you're handling your business. It's Inspiration 1390. Wow.
But yeah, like there's this place called Mickey's and McDonald's is literally across the street.
But remember, coming to America, McDowell's, McDonald's.
But that was, they sent Paramount all types of cease and desist about won't be no McDowell's merch. That's why you never seen, they couldn't roll out after coming to America any like McDowell's t-shirts, anything rest of that. They say it will be taking your parody too far. It's supposed to be a parody. That's what you've, under the free speech, under the Rogers test, you've transformed Mickey D's enough so that we can make jokes about this, right? That's basically the position that they came from. But then when they was trying to like start selling stuff or having merchants, they was like, oh, no.
Shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down.
Do those big brands ever, like, if those mom and pop shops,
Zoe, how many
do they ever like
minutes in this?
collab? Like, could McDonald's
play like a minute of it?
Yes, please.
Sounds like a plan, because I got one last thing I want to talk to y'all about.
I got one more question for you.
Okay, yes, I got one more question.
This is super important. This is like super
Do big brands ever collab with them though? Could like Barbie collab with her?
So that does happen. Like you got to think about somebody like Dapper Dan, right?
Yeah.
And he's a perfect example. Like he infringed on Gucci and them for so long. Now he got his own Gucci outlet. You know what I mean? Like his designs what happens when they infringe on the infringer? Because for so long he was the infringer, and then they start stealing his designs and redoing them.
Infringing on the infringer.
That's exactly what happened with Tyler Creator and Louis Vuitton.
Yep.
Tyler Creator now got a whole Louis line.
Well, I hope Amanda gets a
I
whole
hope she gets
Mattel
billions
line.
of dollars.
I do too.
I hope
Ready,
so
Tammy?
too.
No,
I'm
I
ready.
don't hope so. I know so.
Yeah. Put it in the, put it out in the atmosphere as if it were.
All right.
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. We're talking to none other than subject matter expert and attorney India Rios. So I got one more question for you before we segue into another section. Now, in trademark, if this holds true to trademark, you can slightly change your brand or slightly change your formula and still be eligible for trademark, or is that only in copywriting?
No, you can make slight changes to your mark and renew. So like one example of that would be like the Coca-Cola trademark. It has changed over the 50 plus years that they've been in business. Barbie's mark has changed several times, and the fonts and the styles and things of that nature have changed several times in the time that it's been in. You can file what's called like updates or modifications as long as you're not too far from the original mark.
That's not what I meant. I meant someone who had a similar branding. They could change something slightly and still not be in competition, or the likelihood of confusion come to play.
Absolutely. You could do what's called like a coexistence agreement with a brand that's telling you that, hey, we filing an opposition against you. You can come to an agreement about what your changes are going to look like. I've been in situations before where I've negotiated with somebody, they were going to drop one word off of their mark so that it wouldn't be as confusing as the other person's mark. So let's say, for example, so we can drop one term off of it so it won't be as confusing, and then you'll withdraw your opposition.
Okay.
If you can kind of negotiate things like that, but it really depends on how willing the other party is to play ball with you.
Okay. So this is interesting. I can't wait for this next segment.
Okay, this next segment, we switching gears a little bit, talking about some business law here, right? I'm sure you all have seen the scary commercials, the scary posts on social media that say, if you don't update your beneficial ownership by X date, you could go to jail. You could go to jail for 2 years. You could be fined in this way.
And these fines are hefty.
So, and a lot of people just really don't know what this is about or what it means. So I just wanted to give a little bit of information and highlight on this a little bit. The Corporate Transparency Act is now requiring that everyone update their beneficial ownership information with FinCEN, right? The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And the purpose of this is to, just create more transparency in business ownership, things of that nature. There's been, businesses that have been funding terrorism, businesses that have been set up, with these shell companies, things of that nature that aren't on the up and up. So this is a way for them to understand and know exactly who the financial recipients of these funds are, right? It has to be done for if you own 25% or more of a company. This applies to LLCs, corporations, LLPs. It does not apply to sole proprietorships, right? Because in a sole proprietorship, they know you are the business. Right, so they know who the beneficial owner is. But
so, do you help with that?
I do help with this. This
Give your
is a service that we offer.
Please.
You can give us a call at 773-455-0711. Also, if you're following me on Instagram, you can click on our link tree, and there's a link for beneficial updates right there in the bio. But again, that number was 773-455-0711, and I'm happy to help.
Well, you have done an amazing job. I was glued to every word. Yes. Listen, I definitely want to make an announcement. Stepping in R&B for Autism, all black attire. October the 6th is going down, 3 to 9 p.m. Of course, none other than the voice of autism. That's Deborah Vines. We will post on how you can get tickets. We definitely want you to see your face in the place. We are never out of content, but we are out of time. I got some resources for you tomorrow, so you definitely want to some grants. So you definitely want to tune in tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want you to encourage people to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Show someone that you do know how much you love them. Lead with love. Land on love. I love you, Adam.
I love you, Tammy.
We love you, believers. Baby,
yeah,
we love you.
Hey, listen, up next is AC Green, and right after that is Pastor Patterson on the drive home. We do it all night long right here on this version 1390. Huh? Hey, look. Y'all, this was incredible information. Hey, my Edie. Hey, Daddy's Promise. You guys were very engaged, even though we didn't have an exclusive today. We were very engaged here in the studio as well, because we definitely want you all to stay ahead of the curve, not behind the 8 ball. Does that make sense? All right. For all of you guys who are on the brink of opening up a business, have already opened up a business, maybe you've been in business for decades and you just have not trademarked anything, you definitely want to give Attorney Rios a call. Again, I'm depending on you guys to make sure that Amanda from Barbecue with the pink pig in a skirt gets in touch with India Rios. This has got to be a win for us, y'all. Throw them W's up in advance. In the meantime, peace out.
It's got to be a win for us.
That's right.
I'm going to send her an email.
Yeah,
Because I got her contact information. I'm going to send her an email.
I already kept it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep,
And I'm going to announce this one again tomorrow.
Give it a try.
This one.
Peace out.
Send her a little message.
The views and opinions expressed